Hello everyone, my name is Joe Deep and you're tuned into the Stories Behind podcast. Here we sit down with your favorite Christian artist to discuss the stories behind the songs you love. Welcome once again, let's dive in. And today I have the honor of sitting down with the great man, who is a great man, Greatman Takit.
My bro.
Yeah. So good to have you here, man.
Good to be here, man. Good to be here.
And just today, we're going to be diving into the stories behind Look What You've Done.
Yes, sir.
So, right off the bat, this morning I was watching the visualizer, which, by the way, I think is such an excellent music video. But we know where we're going. We know where we're going.
We know where we're going.
You know, and I feel like I had listened to the song. I listened to the song like a lot.
Thanks,
and
man.
I had listened to the song, and in my own way, I'm kind of going back in my own life and just having God like pour this gratitude, or just pouring this gratitude on God for what He's done. And then I watched the video, and I could see like the story, just unfold.
Yeah.
What was that video like for you, the creation process?
So the song is, people say that the song, your song is new to the person who just listens.
Yeah.
So for me, for the artist, I've had that song for a long time, since 2017.
2017. We'll come back. All right, keep going.
But so coming back to actually release the song as a single, we had to do quite a number of planning around it. And so my team and I, shout out to Same Energy,
Hey.
my team and I began to really just talk about how do we want to narrate the song, how do we want
visually
people visually, especially because it's talking about what God has done already. So that idea came to actually talk about the journey so far.
Beautiful.
And from where I was to where I am right now. And it actually really narrates how that God has been faithful throughout the years.
I saw one of that your video where you were rapping with that Unasha Ahmed neck tag.
Unasha Ahmed. When last day?
If you don't know Unasha Ahmed, then
if you don't know Unasha Ahmed, man,
just be greeting us Uncle Greatman, Uncle Joe Deep.
No, I'm not Uncle C. I don't have one spot or wrinkle. But Unasha Ahmed is unashamed.
Yeah, unashamed.
Yeah.
That being said, I know that for a lot of artists, right, they get into inspiration for a song in different ways. So tell me, were you in a trance and then you heard a song and then you woke up and wrote it? Were you in the toilet?
Oh no!
And it came hard.
It's a very inspirational place.
Yeah. So what's the story behind the idea and the inspiration of Look What You've Done?
It was a normal service day at the church where I was at the time, and my guy was playing the keyboard. I think somebody was even about to lead worship. You know that thing where the keyboard is displaying before worship is led,
bringing the spirit.
Yeah, and I guess I just heard the chord progression in a very different way this time around, and it just filled my heart. Sometimes, and this is why it's important to just be in touch and in tune with the Holy Spirit. At the time, for me, chord progressions speak to me.
Yeah, it brings you in one accord.
Yeah,
with the spirit.
Why? Even on podcasts.
No vex.
But chord progressions speak to me. I know when a song is sad just by the chord progression. I know when a song is happy. I know when a song is, and sometimes the topics also come.
Yeah.
I don't plan the words, especially when it comes to worship songs. I just allow it flow. I allow it lead me because I feel like it's a stream. Yeah. And that's how it came. I was hearing the chord progressions, and the first thing on my mind was, look what you've done already.
Yeah.
Look what you've done already. Look what you've done already.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah, that was
you needed to say on the music.
Yeah, that was the first sentence that came out of my mouth. And I repeated that for a while, and then I was like, okay, this is actually a song, because from my own experience of songwriting, I just knew this is definitely a song. So I began to think, what would I say? And then, what would I do without your love? And then I'll say, look what you've done already. I'm like, man, this space, I need to feel it. And so that song came in one night, just everything like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So from listening
But,
to the chords at the service, then you went to follow up with...
Yeah, from what would I do without your love? Feel the warmth of your arms around me. Look what you've done already. Look what you've done. And my eyes are open to see. Like that. All of them came in one night. And that was how I was singing it for a long time. Until the day I was going to the studio to record it.
Yeah.
So the day when I went to the studio to record it, when I recorded it, all my life, all my days, I'm surrounded by your love. It just came and I'm like, wow, this is good. As I look upon your face, it overwhelms me like a flood, and I knew this was it. So I put it too.
You know what I really love about this particular song? The lyrics are so simple, so friendly, but like at the same time, like so weighty. You know, and I don't know if you were intentional about, I mean, you spoke about how it's just a flow, but were you intentional about choosing some certain words to capture some certain feelings? And what words did you know, like, I intentionally put this word here to make sure that, you know, I get this kind of effect for...
Again, I think maybe my experience of songwriting has taught me certain things. Simplicity is golden.
Yeah.
That's one. The most powerful songs are quite simple because they are the truth. When you say them, it's just true. Or like when you look at a beautiful lady and you're like, this lady is really beautiful. Do you understand?
Have you been looking at beautiful ladies?
My brother, I've seen one or two. But
love songs.
When you say something
again,
loading. Yes, loading, my guy.
Look what you've done
You get
already.
it. Yeah.
Making my heart beat.
Oh God. Don't worry, we will do these things. But you know, when you say this thing is beautiful and it's true,
Yeah.
everybody agrees immediately. So when you talk about something, an emotion, a circumstance, an event, and it's true, it bears witness with people's hearts. You know, I didn't plan the words. But my songwriting instinct knew that when I said a thing and it was true, it was best to leave it like that.
Yeah.
Because if I don't leave it like that, I'm ripping the song off. I'm like, I'm not doing justice to what I'm supposed to do justice to.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm super sure that people that are grateful that that's an approach that you have. I
Yeah.
personally, huge fan. You know,
Thanks, man.
Blessed to be your brother, but
Thanks,
huge
bro.
fan of your
Appreciate that.
simple, powerful, weighty, like
Thanks, man.
lyrics all the time. Doesn't matter what the genre is. You're
Thanks,
literally like an actual melody man. Like any space like this, rap, you know, I enter worship. The day I saw you lead worship, I was envious.
What?
Yeah. I'm grateful for the Holy Spirit. If not for
Are
the
you
Holy
serious?
Spirit, my brother, my team that night, if we don't talk, we just put you for board, throw knife
Blast.
on the picture.
Jesus, pour like put them
So
around
let's make
4
that
candles.
great man less great. But back into your, but I really think you're that
Thanks, man.
good.
Thank
Anyone
you so
whose
much.
heart is not in check,
Thanks,
they're
bro.
gonna lose it around
Thanks,
you.
bro.
But that being said, just thinking about the journey of the production, I mean, I know that the way songs happen is you don't just wake up and then you just say, aha, I have a song and tomorrow is out there. What's the story behind bringing it to life? Are there people you want to credit along the way?
Yeah, I'd like to
bringing that to life and
I
making the
would
image
want
beautiful.
to definitely credit the person who produced it, and that's Corel.
Woo!
You know, Coco.
Boy genius, boy
Yeah,
wonder.
He's a genius. Corel has crazy ingenuity when it comes to sound blending and production, and I think he's an old soul. with
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Sage.
So I think he was just the perfect guy to produce the song because it gave it exactly what I wanted. You know, he gave it exactly what I wanted. I didn't want so much, but I wanted it to be weighty at the same time. And I guess, you know, that's what we all look out for when it comes to production of our songs. We don't want it to just be, you know, excellent musically. We want it to also have that spirit with it
That
to
weight.
back it up. Yeah, the weight.
Like
to back
like
it
when
up.
people hear it, they'll be like waiting.
They
Because
have
it's witty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at you after this podcast. I'll set leg for you like this.
I think just before we let you go, there's one more, thing that crosses my mind that I think I'd love to know, and I think a lot of people would love to know.
Yeah.
In putting the song out, but first, before we even do that, how long did it take for you to produce this? Was this an overnight thing, or did you have to keep going?
No, I had to keep going. Corel takes his time. I can't remember, but Corel takes his time.
Give us an average. Did it take 1 year?
No. It didn't
6
take
months.
1 year, no. It took maybe a couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks,
Yeah,
about
just
three,
maybe 1 or 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 weeks. To just, cumulatively,
Yeah.
with hours, maybe cumulatively, maybe 10 to 20 hours.
Beautiful.
Because I had to call the backup guys.
Yeah. I want to ask one that might touch a nerve. Did you guys fight during the process?
No, I try as much as possible for us not to fight. Me and the producer?
Yeah.
No, we didn't fight. I hardly fight with my producer as well.
See, God has blessed you with great.
Hardly fight with my producer.
You don't have a producer that told you this is not how you would do it. This is how it must sound.
It's not your song now. I'll leave it for you.
Sweet.
When we cannot agree.
Yeah.
You see, I'm not stubborn when it comes to bringing ideas and stuff. I want your ideas to be brought because it's a song that came from God. You get, and I think you're in touch with God. So when it resonates with you, I think there's a portion of it that should come from you also, especially since I'm not the one producing it.
Yeah.
If we're agreeing in that sense, then we should be in one spirit. So bring your genius to it.
Yeah.
But then do not lose what I'm describing.
Yeah.
Do you get? I want you to complement it.
Yeah.
Not, subtract from it in such a way that it loses its essence. If you're a producer and you're telling me that one, my guy,
You just
adios amigo.
Makawai.
I'm not even in a hurry. I'm not.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I'm not desperate to release the song.
Yeah.
Even if God is on my neck, I will look for the best way to release it. Possible.
So that's a big shout out to Corel.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Corel.
Yeah.
Corel and you make a very, very great match. Commando.
Yeah.
It's still one of the songs. I think it's gonna hit the wave for a long time. It's gonna be a reference point actually. That's what I think it's gonna be. So just before we let you go, you've put out the song now. A lot of people have heard it. What's the story just behind hearing the feedback? What have you heard? What are some of the things that you heard that's just stuck to you?
People use the song for everything. One of the things that has stood out for me is the fact that people 2 or 3 videos now where somebody has not seen his parents for a long time and then they surprise their parents. One was after 3 years or 5 years, I think. The other one was 20 years. They had not seen their parents and then he just got back home. And that was the song fits the situation. Do you get my point? These were even Muslim. This was a Muslim family, but that was the song they used. Another one that stood out for me, is the testimonies behind this. This really stands out for me. I posted this on my Instagram where somebody got saved, like literally God delivered them. Yeah, God delivered them from like gunshots. They were hearing gunshots like pa, 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 and they were hearing gunshots on like buses behind them, buses away from them, on their own bus, and he was not hurt, and the only thing on his mind was, look what you done already. I saw him that same night and was like, guy, you don't know what this song did to me today. He started describing it. I said, bro, just write this thing down. I want to share it as a testimony. I hardly do that, because I don't want the attention to move away from God to, but I realize sometimes, but I realize sometimes it's important to share these things.
Yeah, we need to see it.
Yeah. So the feedback, the fact that people use it as their devotional song, the fact that people use it to open houses, the fact that people use it for everything.
Family reunion.
Yeah, family reunion, opening houses, protection, provision, everything. People, baby dedication, having a baby, pregnancy, people use the song. I am.
It feels like it's the Auburn. See what the Lord has done.
Yeah, do you get my point? And I think that it just it draws my attention to the fact that it's important to be grateful.
Yeah.
Because it's a song that talks about gratefulness. It's important to give gratitude to God every time.
Yeah.
In every situation. The Bible says in every situation give thanks. It doesn't necessarily have to be for everything, but in everything give thanks. But I think you should give thanks for everything too.
Yeah.
You know, but in every situation, wherever you are at, give thanks.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Is there any particular story, juicy or so simple but powerful, that, you know, just maybe in the writing and the reflecting back on the song, the lyrics, some of the lyrics, what are your favorite lyrics, you know, from this line, if you have it?
Already.
Look what you've done already.
Look what you've done already.
Yes.
Yeah, what you've
So
done
is there any story that maybe just hit you in reflecting that you really don't mind people hearing, and you know it would just really help your listeners as soon as they go back into that song again?
Yeah.
Just really dive deep into
I
it.
think that on a personal note, my life has been a roller coaster ride. You know, I feel like I've lived 2 lives at a young age. And so I was just saying before the sets started, I was talking to some guys, and I was saying that I feel like I'm seeing why God held me back for a long time before releasing me out, because I began to see, I just see patterns, I see things differently. It's almost like there's an old man inside my body telling me, don't do this, do this, do this, do this. And then the experiences I've had to go through in my own life, it ministers to me too. When I minister it on stage, it ministers to me too. But apart from that, you know, and this is not to even sound any cliche, but I'm beginning to appreciate the greatest story ever told.
Yeah.
The salvation story. I'm beginning to appreciate it more. Like, God try you. Do you get my point? Like, me, I'm very real with myself. If there's anything, I try to be very much aware of where I'm at and how I'm feeling. I'm very much in touch with my emotions. And so I think about this story, the fact that God became man, a man that lived for 33 and a half years and lived to die, died. You don't understand? That thing is mind-boggling, especially because of the fact that people are now, you know, contesting against it. People are now debating against it, and there is actual facts that this man was alive. You know, there was a man called Jesus. There was a man hung on the cross in Calvary called Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. You know, and this man was God. And then looking at the spiritual angle, the parallels, the fact that he went to hell, the fact that he became the righteousness, you know, for us, our righteousness, the reason why we can even look at God in the face and talk to him, the reason why we can even have access to God. It's not superficial to me. It's not vague to me. It's real.
Real and personal.
It's personal to me. Like, wait, guy, if it was left to any other man, I'd be dead by now. The Chris said something that if we, how did he say it? He said if we receive the reward of our whatever, we'll be in hell tonight. Like, we'll be in hell tonight. We'll know it's not tomorrow, it's tonight. So the greatest story ever told. The greatest story, the greatest story, the fact that God took his time, you know, from beginning of creation, from before beginning of creation, to slay his son and make that a reality that people who had not even seen the crucifixion of his son could tap from. It shows the character of his person. It shows his nature. And to be honest, I don't like this. For me, I like to sound real. I don't want to be preachy about it. It's real.
And if real sounds preachy, then
then so
real.
be it. But this is so real. Like, he took his time. And you know the funny thing, as much as he called the Jews, he made sure that everybody was involved. For example, why would you include a prostitute in the lineage of... Why did you have to do that? It means he was telling us that I am for everybody. I'm God of creation. I'm not God of the Jews.
The door is open to everyone who puts their faith in
him.
I think what really even makes me even appreciate you sharing, you know, just this bit of it is there's a generic part of people that when they think about look what you've done already, they're just and that's a beautiful aspect of things. They're thinking about
What
you
he's
know,
done
how
for them.
God, came through in just, beautiful incidents.
Yeah.
But to carry that depth and see that this song also just comes from reflecting on something that
Yeah.
God eternally did in the sacrifice of his son.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
takes it to another level. Would love to spend all the time in the world just
would love to spend
digging
all the time
this, on and on. But I'm gonna ask you something. I'm already feeling like glory pimples.
What is that?
I'm like, this guy has brought presents.
Bust it.
I just need someone playing the organ. So I'm gonna just pull into that. I'm gonna ask you something real quick. It's it. What's your favorite meal? Just
I don't
in
have
case
a
someone.
favorite anything.
So once they plant any food on your table, you just be like, look what you've done.
No, I don't have my favorite meal is the meal I feel like eating at the time.
Okay. What do you feel like eating today?
My brother, I have to think about that. But just a good surprise.
I think about it. I'll surprise you with Gary and Granite.
Not
Why
because
they?
it's good. But when I feel like eating Gary and Granite, that's what I want, and that will be my best. To be honest, like there are times when I just
the way they make this thing, they sound deep.
That's what I do. That's what I do. My favorite. I don't have a favorite meal. I don't have a favorite meal.
Contentment. God, great game. Bring it.
There are times when I want to take Gary and I don't want sugar in it. Yes, especially when I'm eating it with beans.
Let me tell you a secret. I don't understand people that take Gary with sugar. So let's just keep it. We'll not put this part in the podcast. Because I'm like, that's that rich sour.
Bro,
don't you want to experience what God has done?
Bro, it's
not what man is trying to do with what God has done.
That's
do you understand?
How can sweet be in sour? It's a miracle.
Exactly.
Take the miracle in.
I'm going to just bring this to an end here. First of all, I want to thank you so much for gracing this with us and just, being supportive in this way. Thank you guys so much. Please go stream Look What You've Done and every other beautiful song that Greatman Takit has put out there.
Yeah.
Peace.